Republicans are outraged over how the Pennsylvania Supreme Court has redrawn the map of the state's congressional districts, boosting Democrats' odds of regaining the House in the midterm elections. The court had ruled the previous map diluted Democrats' votes and undermined rights to, quote, free and equal elections. But the chairman of the state's Republican Party says, quote, today, in a shameful display of partisanship, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court drew and released a new congressional map. This map constitutes a new standard for judicial activism, end quote. Power panel back, Kevin McCullough, Jessica Tarlov. Kevin?
Oh, I think it's absolutely true. It's judicial activism. What's the meaning of elections if you don't enjoy the fruit of winning them? When you win the majority of your houses and your task is to draw the map, that's part of what winning an election is all about. For a court to come in and say, we don't like this, we're going to do it our way, is not what the voters of Pennsylvania voted for.
So, Jessica, the special election in Pennsylvania is March 13th. So this will not be in place for that. But we're looking ahead to the midterm elections, and there's already a pushback and appeal process by Republicans.
And even by the president himself, who took to Twitter this morning to talk about it as well. But to Kevin's point, I mean, Republicans were enjoying, based upon their map, a 13-5 advantage in a evenly divided state, and the court was trying to rectify that actually it shouldn't just be, oh, that we won, we get to do whatever we want and make sure that we're excluding voters and moving things around. And granted, we can all acknowledge both sides gerrymander.
Yeah, I was just going to say,
this is not just a Republican problem here. Democrats do it as well. Well, it is why you win elections, but if you look at an evenly divided state and a Republican advantage of 13-5, we're not talking about 1-seat advantage, 2-seat advantage. It makes sense to me that a court would get involved in this like they have all over the country. We had it in North Carolina as well.
Kevin, before you speak, Maryland congressional map is awaiting a decision with the Supreme Court. Wisconsin congressional map is awaiting March oral arguments with the Supreme Court. North Carolina congressional map is pending appeal with the Supreme Court. This is a big deal going into the midterms. Why?
It's the Democratic strategy to try to take back House seats that they could not win electorally.
And who's in charge of that?
Eric Holder is this is his baby. Now, the interesting thing about Pennsylvania is while it's 13-5, Trump won those 12-6. So it may be reflective, it may not be reflective. Pennsylvania may not be as evenly divided as people think that it is.
Well, historically, if you look back, it has been. I understand that Donald Trump managed to pull this off, but it's one of the swing states that we watch for months out for a reason.
What do Republicans do? Because, and I mentioned this going into the commercial break, you know, everything costs money. So you get lawyers to fight this. Republicans have a lot of money right now. And the DCCC and the DNC, you guys are struggling. So what happens?
They're actually bankrupt, I think, according to the latest numbers. But I think Republicans have to pick and choose where they spend their treasure. And if you're going to go into Pennsylvania, you're going to fight this, you got to fight it hard. I think Pennsylvania may be one of the more important states that they fight it in, because I'm not sure that if you compare a North Carolina or Wisconsin, that it matters as much presidential cycle to presidential cycle as Pennsylvania does.
I would just add, and we were discussing this on the couch as well, that while our national organizations on the Democrat side are not raising as much as we would like, individual candidates are. And Conor Lamb is a very well-funded candidate because people like him in Pennsylvania. Yeah. And also I would add he's running as very moderate. He came out against Nancy Pelosi. That might be bellwether for the future of where these races are going.
Yes, historically, and that might be a little bit of spin, too, but Republicans are out funding you right now in terms of what they can raise. Kevin, great to have you.
Thank
Jessica,
you.
great to have you.
Thank you, Harris.